Hi there, Gemini. How are you? It's me, Anissa from Stereo, and I'm back again doing your October 2018 readings. So this reading is gonna be from the 8th of October until the 15th of October 2018. And as usual, I'm gonna be covering your relationship sector, meaning that you can always apply this with anyone in your life. It could be with your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, exes, crushes, a husband. I have said husband, haven't I? Colleagues, co-workers, family member, anyone. I'm basically just going to pick up your relationship energy in general, all right? Please also check your sun, moon, or Venus sign, because I tend to realize that with my reading, I resonate much more with my Venus sign rather than my sun sign, okay? So how are you guys doing right now? Yeah, this card actually pops out when I was kind of like pre-shuffling. After I meditated, I was pre-shuffling before I even hit the record button. The Six of Swords kind of like emphasizes about your need to kind of like escape to calmer water. Because, you know, things that you're living in behind is kind of like very, very hurtful for your brain. I mean, you guys are air sign. Once somebody gets into your brain and it just doesn't make sense, it hurts, right? I mean, I have Venus in Aquarius. I kind of like resonate in some ways. You cannot be dealing with someone who you cannot explain the reasoning about what it is that they're doing. You know what I mean? Because you get curious a lot. And I feel like you guys, in a sense, especially with this Ten of Cups in reverse in here, meaning that you don't feel like the collective happiness of the relationship. That's why you kind of like chose to walk away. And it kind of like goes hand in hand with the theme of the month, you know. I actually touched base on about this in Sagittarius reading. I feel like I'm going to talk about this in your reading too. That right now we are in October. Numerology-wise, we're talking about number 10. 0. It acts as the intensifier of the 1. 1 is a starting. So it's very, very much advisable for you to kind of like start something. You have had like 9 months prior to this month learning what is it that works, what is it that doesn't. And now you guys are in kind of like in a crossroad. Do you want to go back to your self-destructive ways, trying to do things expecting different result, or you want to start fresh, you want to start something new, living behind things that just drain the living thing out of you, okay? Satu kartu energi lagi. You have the Six of Wands. So when you guys kind of like walk away from it, you actually felt very, very victorious. You actually felt good. You know, it sometimes felt very, very good living toxicity or toxicity. Which one is right? I don't know. Toxicity. I think toxicity. Living toxicity behind feels good, right? When you kind of like leave like toxic people, things that just drains the living thing out of you, things that just doesn't make sense behind, things who try to, people who try to manipulate you in some ways. When you leave them behind, this is what you get. You have 6. It's beautiful. So before, I feel like your last reading, it was we were talking about 8. You have karmic loop, and then you have 5 distractions. Now you have 6. It's good. So you're improving. You're improving. If you get to this point of 6, 7 is a very auspicious number. We're talking about luck here, right? If you can keep up this energy, feeling very, very celebratory, victorious the whole damn time, feeling like you're on top of the world, feeling like you're confident, kind of like boosted a lot, you know, feeling that side of relief and be forever grateful, you can actually be very, very lucky. So keep up this energy so that you can progress into 7. It's beautiful, Gemini. Look at the challenge. So what's challenging you? You have the Two of Swords. Indecisions. Where I feel like in this particular deck of mine, it's like when arguments just don't meet a solution. You know what I mean? Because two people are so stubborn about their way of thinking. And I feel like it also kind of like touch base about the inability of the partner that you're dealing with to kind of like understand where you're coming from. To understand where you're coming from, especially with the Ten of Cups in here, it kind of like emphasize your needs to have a partner or to have someone who wants to share a collective happiness with you. You know what I mean? And I feel like with this too, it's so focusing on this rather than meeting a solution that is beneficial for both of you. You love when I fall apart. Satu kartu challenge lagi. Okay, you have 2 cards as your overall chart. I usually just pick 2. Now you have 3. You have the Knight of Pentacles and you also have the Hangman. Exactly what I'm saying. You know, you're dealing with someone who has the inability to see things from your perspective. And you also have the Knight of Pentacles. It still kind of like is very, very hard for you to let go of your unwavering devotions and loyalty that you have towards someone else. Although you try to kind of like walk away to calmer water and it makes you feel fresh, brand new, victorious, and celebratory in some ways. But letting go of that unwavering devotions and loyalty, letting go of the feeling that, you know what, every time you're here, I'm going to help you. Letting go of that sense of selfless love that Gemini has to always have to have is hard. It's kind of like, it's a little bit tough. With the Knight of Pentacles in here, you should also be careful with people who kind of like seems like they are trustworthy or they're reliable. Someone who kind of like offers you something as if like you can trust them. Trying to kind of like be a little bit careful with them. Okay? Lima kartu baseball, lima kartu baseball, depan. Love when I fall apart. Interesting. I think I'm going to kind of like start pulling cards and then I'm going to comment on it. You could be dealing with 2 people though, or if it's like one person, the mood swing is super extreme. Like super extreme from your part. Not from the other part. The mood swing is very extreme. And I kind of like get it. Why? Because you guys have had it. I mean, this if it's only one person, this relationship is so much so of a power struggle. Someone wants to have the upper hand than the other, and it just gives you like a lot of anxieties with the Nine of Swords in here. You just want to get away from it all. You kind of like losing your patience. One minute you kind of like believe that this relationship is very, very meant to be. It's either twin flame or it's very, very karmic, or this person is your soulmate because you kind of like see the wifey or husband material in them. But also sometimes then, you know, your mood just kind of like switched and you became the Knight of Swords. You became very, very kind of like wanting to get to the bottom of the truth with them. You kind of like want to kind of like fight with them because you're losing your patience, see? When you're dealing with this type of negative energy, it just kind of like brings out the worst in you too. So if you're only dealing with one person, this relationship somehow brings out the best in you and also the worst in you. This is a true Gemini. They're making you becoming like the true Gemini. Having this really, really, boom, like that. But if you're dealing with 2 people, you know, you do have someone in your midst who is very, very emotionally dependent on you with the Nine of Cups. Someone who is still very, very emotionally clingy with you. But the thing about someone who is emotionally high maintenance, sometimes, especially when that person is very handicapped when it comes to expressing out their feelings, because they felt like if I became vulnerable, if I'm the first person of kind of like opening up my heart chakra and talking about emotions, I'm gonna be seen as if like I'm weak and I'm needy, and that's not what they want. But they are actually emotionally very, 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 very high maintenance, like for real. And okay, emotionally high maintenance people who are unable to express how they truly feel can be very, very irritating, you know what I mean? So they could be like overly borderline possessive, they could be overly borderline like controlling, they could be emotionally abusive towards you without them even knowing that they're doing it, because they still very, very much insecure. So they're clingy, they do have like a little bit of a codependent tendencies, but they're so afraid about showing that vulnerable side of them. Okay, with the Nine of Cups in here, and you have had it with them, with the Nine of Swords in here. You have had it. You're done, basically, because it's just kind of like stressing the shit out of you. And then this is if you're dealing with 2 people. Person B comes with the Queen of Pentacles in a preposition. Someone who you see has like a long-term commitment potential, someone who you kind of like see as someone who is much more stable than person A, who is very, very much emotionally insecure, in which you kind of like felt like you have like this connection of Six of Cups, either twin flame, karmic, or a soulmate relationship, but it's beautiful. Okay, in the now though, if you're dealing with two people, the person B is actually kind of like want to build something from you, but they're the type of person who are very, very grounded, so they would want to kind of like go with you like step by step by step by step. And you guys too, you guys have the King of Pentacles in here. Okay, you guys see, you have the King of Pentacles, so you are showing so much of your reliability, your trustworthiness in here. I love this one. Okay, but then you still have this Five of Swords energy in here with you, Gemini. If you're dealing with two people, the person A, who is emotionally very, very insecure, because they see that there is no longer collective happiness in here. They don't feel safe again with the collective happiness, and there's no collective practicalities again. I want to know what they're doing. They became mean. They become like they want to have always the upper hand. Oh, I've been dealing with these type of people. There's this type of person. I know how you feel. What's the Ten of Pentacles in here? Why is it so much troublesome? Coming like gold. Could be dealing with a Cancer though. I need to stop mentioning signs. Yeah, I mean, oh. So if you're dealing with two people, this person might kind of like come back into your life, causing disruptions again. Causing disruptions again, in which you're not going to kind of like take it. I feel like your fighting power is gone. Right now, you guys are kind of like feeling very, very snappy when it comes to them if you're dealing with two people. If you're dealing with one person, this person though, I feel like your trust kind of like has lost when it comes to them, because they give you like so much anxieties. I mean, they don't feel happy with you, but they still kind of like on the front, they still kind of like showing you a face as if like they want to build something new with you. Are you happy about it? Yes, you are. I mean, like you guys right now are kind of like more grounded. If you're only dealing with one person, you're very grounded. Like you guys are no longer up in the cloud and everything like that. You're very, very grounded. So when they kind of like extend this effort, you're happy. But once they became like emotionally high maintenance again and doing stuff that only emotional high maintenance people do, you guys are like, no, I'm not having it. You still have the 5-5 in here. Still have the 5-5 in here. So it's like, yeah. Lima kartu masa depan. Baby, you got me like gold. You love when I fall apart. At the bottom of your deck, you have the Death card in reverse. Somehow, even with the new person in the future, you're gonna have like a really trust issues too. I mean, this person actually wants to kind of like collaborate with you, wants to kind of like do it together with you, but they are in their own pace. You know what I mean? I feel like you need to kind of like know each other's love language, what you both need to feel loved and everything like that, because I feel like you're going to have like a major trust issues with this person, because it seems as if like this person is very, very distant, but actually this person wants to do the work, but they're focusing on their money too. Okay, if you're dealing with two people, everything is going to go all right in the future though, especially with person A. The person who gives you like a lot of anxieties in the past, because this person is going to kind of like focusing so much on their independence. I feel like, you know, Universe gives such a blessing towards you by giving them a lot of blessings, and they're going to be so busy with their blessings that they're no longer going to kind of like disturb your life any longer. But I feel like you guys are still very, very wary and very, very indefensive and very, very still protective. Like you don't want them to know, like you're still doing things like on a hush hush because you just don't want them to kind of like disrupt again. You still have this, like you're building like a huge fort, huge wall around you because you don't want to get disturbed by this person again. This person who, and then person B actually wants to collaborate with you, but they do things in their own ways, in their own pace, which is going to give you like a lot of anxieties. Don't bring if you're dealing with two people, and I'm talking about the new person here, don't bring your past problems into the now. You need to kind of like see things in a different lens, you know what I mean? Especially with the death card here, there's like a shedding of the old skin that needs to happen. I mean, just because the past person gives you like a lot of anxieties and depressions and everything like that, doesn't necessarily mean that the new person is going to do the same to you, you know? Yeah, the World card here is beautiful. Kind of like things that is coming to a full circle. But first thing first, you need to shed the old skin because you're still unable to. It was in a reverse position. Yeah, don't bring in the lenses in there. I'm going to clarify this Three of Pentacles in here. This is midnight. I get more nosy when I'm midnight. Three of Pentacles. Okay, I'm checking the time. Yeah, you kind of like see this person as being very, very selfish because they do things in their own face, but they actually want to collaborate with you. Okay? If you're dealing with one person, the same thing. You're still very, very wary and you have very, very deep-rooted trust issues with them. They still want to work it out with you, but they're also kind of like focusing on their money a lot as well. Okay, so if you want, yeah. So if this is, you're only dealing with one person, I feel like couple counseling or, I don't know, like a heart-to-heart talk where open communication is key in this relationship to work. Otherwise, it's going to kind of like go into this cycle over and over again. But if you're dealing with two people, try not to see the new person in the lens that you were seeing the past person who gives you like a lot of anxieties, okay? So I think that's it for my reading for you guys, Gemini. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in 1 week. Bye-bye.